Prince Andrew is somebody who I would call a royal family goon. I'd be very comfortable calling him that. Entitled, pampered little prick who was probably given everything he needed in his life and then some. And that's very obvious when you listen to him talk, when you look at his actions. So now he got a little bit of comeuppance here. Let me go ahead and show you this headline. This is in the Daily Mail, but this has been reported very widely. Prince Andrew settles sex case with Virginia Roberts for $7.5 million. I think that's pounds, after exasperated Charles orders him to agree payout before Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Andrew and his accuser, Virginia Jeffrey, reached out-of-court settlement in civil sex claim filed in New York. Her lawyer wrote jointly with Andrew's lawyer to say that the parties had reached settlement in principle. Court papers show Duke will make substantial donation to Miss Jeffrey's charity in support of victims' rights. Buckingham Palace declines to comment on news, which is in year of Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration. Okay, so what happened here was his family, like the Queen, for example, forced him. Like, shut this whole thing down, pay out whatever you got to pay out, we'll pay for it. And so, the family comes in to save the day. That's basically what happens. His family saved the day, which happens with almost all entitled, pampered little pricks. Now, he still maintains, me, bro? I didn't even do anything wrong. I don't even know what you're talking about. But I'm about to show you how he is literally the worst liar I've ever seen, and that's not even a slight exaggeration. There's not an ounce of hyperbole in that comment you're about to see for yourself. But by the way, I've actually seen, at first the articles were saying it's an undisclosed sum of money. Then you see there 7.5 million pounds, which I'm not that good at telling you what that is in dollars, but I think it's 7.5 million pounds is about $9 or $10 million. But then I also saw other headlines that said 12 million pounds. So I don't know if it's 7.5 million pounds or 12 million pounds. Either way, Virginia is getting paid. And look, that's some semblance of justice given what happened to her based on the evidence. And so I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her that she's getting that money. Now, I told you guys I was going to show you how this is literally the worst liar on the planet. 2 years ago, Prince Andrew sat down with BBC, and he got stripped of his titles, by the way, so I guess he's no longer a prince. He sat down with BBC Newsnight, and, he thought, look, I got to get ahead of the scandal. I got to tell my story, so I have nothing to hide. I'll be upfront. I'll tell everybody what went down and, how close I was with Jeffrey Epstein, the CEO of Elite Sex Crimes Incorporated. The guy who, pedophilia is his business model. That's what Jeffrey Epstein did. So he tries to get in front of the story, and everything crashes and burns in such a glorious way. It's a really long interview, but I'm just going to show you some of the pieces here so you could see how bad of a liar Prince Andrew actually is. Watch.
In 2008, he was convicted of soliciting and procuring a minor for prostitution. He was jailed. This was your friend. How did you feel about it?
Well, I ceased contact with him after I was aware that he was under investigation. And that was later on in 2006. And I wasn't in touch with him again until 2010. So
He was released in July. Within months, by December of 2010, you went to stay with him at his New York mansion. Why? Why were you staying with a convicted sex offender?
Right. Now, I went there with the sole purpose of saying to him that because he had been convicted, it was inappropriate for us to be seen together. I felt that doing it over the telephone was the chicken's way of doing it.
That was December of 2010.
Yep.
He threw a party to celebrate his release, and you were invited as the guest of honour.
Oh, in 2010? That certainly wasn't a party to celebrate his release in December, because it was a small dinner party. There were only 8 or 10 of us, I think, at the dinner. If there was a party, then I'd know nothing about that.
You were invited to that dinner as a guest of honour?
Well, I was there, so there was a dinner. I don't think it was quite as you might put it, but yeah, okay, I was there at a dinner, yeah.
I'm just trying to work this out, because you said you went to break up the relationship, and yet you stayed at that New York mansion several days. I'm wondering how long...
But I was doing a number of other things while I was there.
But you were staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
But that definitely wasn't you getting a foot massage from a Russian girl in Jeffrey Epstein's house.
No.
She described dancing with you,
No.
and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have a bath, possibly...
There's a slight problem with the sweating, because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was... Oh, actually, yes. I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. And I simply, it was almost impossible for me to sweat. And it's only because I have done a number of things in the recent past that I'm starting to be able to do that again. So I'm afraid to say that there's a medical condition that says that I didn't do it, so therefore.
Do you know you didn't meet her, or do you just not remember meeting her?
No, I don't know if I've met her.
She provided a photo of the two of you together.
Yes.
Your arm was around her waist.
Yes.
You've seen the photo.
I've seen the photograph.
How do you explain that?
I can't. Because I have absolutely no memory of that photograph ever being taken.
Do you recognise yourself in the photo?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult not to recognise yourself.
But it's possible that it was you with your arm around
That's
her waist.
me, but whether that's my hand or whether that's the position, I have simply no recollection of a photograph ever being taken. I don't remember that photograph ever being taken. I don't remember going upstairs in the house, because that photograph is taken upstairs.
She said she had sex with you 3 times. Once in a London house when she was trafficked to you in Maxwell's house.
Yes.
Once in New York a month or so later at Epstein's mansion. And once on his private island in a group of 7 or 8 other girls.
No.
No to all of it?
All of it. Absolutely no to all of it. Mm-hmm.
Are you saying you don't believe her? She's lying?
That's a very difficult thing to answer. When the allegations came out originally, I went, well, that's a bit strange. I don't remember this.
You could not spend time around him and not know.
Look,
would you be willing to testify or give a statement under oath if you were asked?
But if push came to shove and the legal advice was to do so, then I would be duty-bound to do so.
I mean, it's amazing. They should show that video in schools to show, like, every single sign of a brazen liar is there. Choking on his own words, like you just saw there at the end. Saying things that try to, like, that are obviously false, confidently, that get debunked in, like, the next second. Like we say, I don't know if I met her. It's like, this is a picture of you with her. Is that you? Yeah. Why would you say, I don't know if I met her? And then the picture's right. It's like, you would have to be like, yeah, I met her. There's a picture of us together. Obviously, I met her. Like, oh my God, the thing about the sweating. I had a medical condition where I didn't sweat. There are pictures from the same time period where he's sweating. Where, like, you see him walking, and underneath in the armpit area, you can see a sweat stain. I have a medical condition, so there's a medical condition. It says that didn't happen. I love the, I don't know if you saw this in this video. It's in the longer video. It may have been in this video too. But talks about how, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein was, like, found guilty of, I don't know, sex trafficking or some underage sex crime in 2006. And he's like, I cut off ties with him. But then we started hanging out again in 2010. What? You can't say you cut off ties if 4 years later you're right back with him when you knew he was guilty of the sex crimes. Like, every part of that is just hilariously transparent. I want to thank him for doing that interview and showing the world that he's guilty. Look, I'm going to morph into a conservative commentator here for a second. Guilty. Don't do the trial. No due process. Send his ass straight to jail. Look, I'm joking. Of course I believe in due process, but, like, on that alone, like, any reasonable person is going to watch that and be like, yeah, you did it. You obviously did it. And credit to that BBC Newsnight interviewer. She did a fantastic job. Just, like, really deadpan, really factual. Just give him enough rope to hang himself. Unbelievable. So now they're paying out millions. And I forgot to mention, one of the terms of the deal is supposedly that she's not allowed to say anything about it publicly until after the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, which I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. Obviously, it's some sort of party thing. I don't know. But there you have it. Elite sex pest's gonna elite sex pest. And this time, at least he was caught. At least there's some semblance of justice, even though, clearly it's not an ideal scenario. And my heart goes out to Virginia. What you go through as an Epstein victim and being trafficked to this guy, Jesus Christ, it doesn't get any darker than that. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.